Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11 coming to you live, streaming live from Eastern Long Island, New York, where the weather is fantastic this weekend. Couldn't ask for a better day. The humidity is low, the temperature is moderate. It's a great day for doing outdoor activities. Unfortunately, I did not have time today to get to the beach, nor did I have time yesterday. Yesterday we had parties to go to. Today my wife and I went for late brunch, and we have people coming over for dinner. So it's one of those sociable weekends for us, not much fun in the sun. I'll try to sneak in a little sun. In any event, hope you guys are having a great time doing whatever it is you're doing, whether it has to do with stocks, whether it has to do with water surfing, whether it has to do with sunning yourself on the beach, whatever. I hope you're really enjoying this weekend. And I did want to give a little preview of the week to come. And that entails my favorite biotech stocks and some of your favorite biotech stocks. That would be, mentioning them in no particular order, Unkoset Medical, Thesis, Actinium, Geron, and CVM. Of course, I have other favorites, and I'll start throwing them into the mix over time. But right now I have charts up for those five as well as the Dow. We'll take a quick peek at the week ahead. I have some really strong opinions on some of them and some less strong opinions on others. But in any event, I'm never afraid to offer my opinion. Just keep in mind that my opinions are my own, that you should do your own due diligence and not look for others to decide what you're going to invest in. And I've lectured you on this before. Not even an investment advisor, not even your brother, not even your broker brother. You make your own decisions for investments. Educate yourself. That's the best way to take care of your own money. I found that to be the case the hard way through the years. Never trust anyone, even someone as likable as Dr. J at 11. I know everybody loves me, but I know I have a fairly good record so far in what I've had to say. But that isn't any reason to just blindly go with what I say or what anybody else says. That's how I've lost a lot of money through the years, by listening to my friend, the mailman, by listening to not my friend, but the guru who puts out a fancy $1,000 a year sheet, or any of those things. Do your own due diligence. That's my best advice to you. Let's get to the video charts. After having said that, you still might want to know what Dr. J is thinking, and that's fine. So let's take a look and see what Dr. J is thinking. And this is specific to the week ahead, as well as beyond. So I'm going to share screen. And while I know the fundamentals of each of these stocks, I'm going to talk mainly about the technicals that interest me. And there's a million indicators. I like to draw lines. I like trend lines. I love parallel trend lines. I love channels. I don't love moving averages. I use them, but I have little faith in using them alone. Fib retracements I find somewhat useful. So let's take a look at the charts, beginning with the Dow. No, let's begin with, I talked about Geron exclusively. Let's begin with Thesis. Thesis is one of my most heavily invested stocks. And remember when we were looking at it together through right about here, right about 8:15, I suggested that we draw parallel lines in a stepwise fashion because that's what Unkoset seemed to be doing. And sure enough, it came down here and continued up to hug a trend line. And guessing as to the length of the trend line, it seems I guessed fairly well. I drew another trend line, hypothetical one, because there were no days have yet to occur at that time. And the 3 days so far in this trend line looking pretty good. At that rate, my guess of 216 by 911 is looking pretty good, 10 cents in just seven trading days, is it? Whatever it is. That's possible. And then a little downward drift, and then all the way up with a long trend line to the 238 level and above. So I see it going up like by the beginning of October, the end of September, let's say, to above 230 and beyond. So I'm very bullish on athx. I may have sounded a little annoyed by talking about up 2 cents, down 2 cents, up 2 cents, down 2 cents. But that's pretty much what it's been doing for the last 8 trading days. So it was a little tedious, up 2 cents, down 2 cents. But it looks to me like it's breaking out of that and will follow the trend lines that I drew earlier. And if so, I'm going to say that my crystal ball was working pretty good. So I hope so, because I am very long athx. I'm very long all of these stocks. The smallest one that I have an investment in is CVM, but I'll talk about that later. Unkoset Medical. This one had a beautiful, beautiful chart, didn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, look at that steep curve trend line that it followed from 8.6 all the way through, what date is this? All the way through 8.16. So like a 10 or 12 trading days. And it went straight up virtually. That's a steep curve. It's almost a 90-degree curve. I mean, it was zooming. And then, of course, it had to give back some. But now it's found a new trend line. And I think it looks like it's moving off that trend line, which is an excellent sign. Remember, on down days like the one on 8/27, I said, don't worry about Unkoset. It's still hugging its trend line, even if it had a down day. And that's how I feel. I feel as long as it hugs the trend line, we're going in the right direction. So what if it takes us till 9:10 to break 150? I don't think it will. We're at 150 now. But in the worst case, if it straddles the trend line, it'll be somewhat above 150 by 9:10. And that's only like 9/4 is Tuesday, so that's a week from Tuesday. So maybe we don't get a big move, but I think we're going to start to edge away from this trend line, moving on up to maybe the middle of this cone, which would put us pretty high up into the 160s. So I can see the 160s, not by the end of next week, but by the end of the week after that. So I would say more of the same for Unkoset. I'm not at all disturbed by the action, the price action, and the recent pattern. In fact, I'm very, very bullish on Unkoset, very happy with its trend. Keep up this trend line, and Dr. J has smiles all the way. Even on a little down day, like what did we do yesterday? 8:31 on Friday, we were opened at 151, high of 152, low of 146, and closed at 150. Can't complain, unchanged on the day, essentially. Does show a little bit red, though. Okay, in any event, I guess the close actually was a little bit lower than the open, according to this. Let's look at the next one, Actinium. By the way, I promised an exclusive 10 or 15 minutes just on Unkoset, and that will happen this week. I'm going to talk about the CEO, Dan O'Connor. I'm going to talk about the pipeline. I'm going to talk about the fundamentals as well as the technicals of Unkoset Medical. I've been in and out of this one for quite some time, probably about 4 or 5 years, and I'm pretty heavily in it now. Actinium Pharmaceuticals. Look at the narrowing of the trading range. You know, you hear that term coiled spring. Well, I hate to use it because it's so often used, but we've been following this trend line down. We've been following this trend line up. They've met. They just about met. They will have met on 9.4. So something on 9.4 has to give. We either break above this trend line or below this one. So what'll it be? I don't know. I mean, the other possibility is that we break just a little bit above that trend line, this trend line, and trade in a very narrow pattern until about, I don't know, until about middle of September, and then either break above or break below at that point. I don't think that'll happen. I think we get a decisive move in the week after Labor Day. I'm not sure if it'll be up or down. My suspicions are that we get a nice move up off of this trend line. So I think we could see 69 cents, maybe 70 cents, a break of the high of 8.15, which was 69 cents. So I think we break 69 cents, maybe go to, hard to say what, but I think we break 69 cents sometime next week. So that would be a nice move up, maybe a 10% move up by the end of next week. Dr. J is very bullish on Actinium Pharmaceuticals. I know we're expecting data down the road on a key trial, and I'm hoping that data will be good. But even if it isn't and we get a little pullback, there's more in the pipeline coming. So this is a long-term hold and maybe a buy as far as Dr. J is concerned. I may actually add on Monday. Every so often I get in the mood to add shares of Actinium Pharmaceuticals. Not on Monday, on Tuesday. Monday is Labor Day, right? Yeah. Please bear with me because I'm not used to Monday not being a trading day. Okay, let's take a look at, what do you want to look at now? We looked at athx, onks, at Actinium. Let's look at Geron. I know I've been talking a lot about Geron. What's it going to do next week? That's the question. Well, we've been zooming out of this. We were in a channel where we were zooming, and now we're zooming even more. We're going parabolic here. Well, you know that can't last forever, but it could last a short while longer. So with news, which I expect could happen on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th, we will zoom. And I said we're going to pop up past 668, the old high, and never look back. And I do believe that's the case. So with news, it's up and away, maybe as high as $8 a share, and maybe settled back down to the 7s, and then somehow resume a slower upward trajectory. So I see really good things ahead for Geron. This is all based on not only news, but good news. Good news coming in the form of a positive continuation decision. Now, some of the bears are hoping that the news is baked into the cake, that it's no big deal that J&J is going to continue Embark and iMerge, the 2 trials for MF and MDS with Geron's drug, imetelstat. Well, that may be the case, but I don't think so. So the bears are saying sell the, buy, what is it? Buy the rumors, sell the news. So that typically biotechs will go up pre-market on the news and sell off during the day. And the shorts have been using this formulaic approach to short the stock pre-market at as high a price as possible, and then look to pull back, get some money on a pullback, which good for them. If that's their game and they can pull it off, fine. I just don't think we give back all of it. In fact, I think we keep most of it. So if it's pre-market 850, what do we give back? Maybe we will give back as much as it'll go to 750, 770. But we're not going to give back too much. I think that once the good news is out, this resistance line will be solid support, 668. I don't think we will even test it again. I think it's going to be extremely bullish, extremely explosive stock. And Dr. J recently added, and I don't usually add to a stock that I have so much of already. But as I said in a previous video, sometimes I'm a greedy old man. And that's what I am with Geron. I just feel it's such a good, solid company that it's a buy here. And finally, CVM. CVM, I actually have some confusion over. I don't know whether it's a buy, sell, or hold. I was looking at some retracements, and I tell you what, I don't want to give a definitive call on CVM yet, so I will wait till Tuesday, and I'm going to call it a day at this point. I'm going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to come back to say goodbye to everybody, and we will give the CVM another look. I'm sorry for the interruption of the broadcast, but I do have social commitments today, so I can't go on talking forever. But I'm looking for a place to re-enter because I sold half of my position, and I'm still very bullish on CVM. So we'll talk about it on Tuesday. If you have comments or questions, I'll try to answer them. How's that? Meanwhile, have a great Labor Day weekend, what's left of it. I love you all. Ciao.